Okay, we're here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Traveling with Bruce. It's Monday, the 8th of April, 2024. It's the big show. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to my Monday evening cruise and travel news show. Got a little bit of news for you. Got some cruise deals I want to tell you about. How you doing out there? How's everyone hanging in there? We're doing well, Jennifer and I here in Palm Desert, California. We're in our new condo. We moved out of the first condo we were in. We're in our second condo now for this month and most of May, and then we head back to Canada. And we're going to hit 90s this week. We are definitely going up in temperature. The break has begun. We're out of this 50, 60 temperature range for daily highs long ago now. The 70s are normal, and we're about to break into the mid 90s later this week. So get ready for that. We're going to have to put the air conditioning on. Stay cool. Unbelievable. Welcome all. We're fine. Jennifer is great. We're finding that her physical ailments are no longer her hips. It's just her right knee that bothers her, but it always has. She's going to be getting a knee injection then when we get back to Canada, which will be, I think, the third time she'll have done this. And she's looking forward to it because it's instant pain relief the minute she gets it done. So we'll wait for that. But yeah, she's getting around just fine. She's building her endurance level up, and the recovery is really coming along. So yeah, we're very happy with the fact that she has two brand new hips, and they're both functioning very, very nicely. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for these thumbs ups you guys are hitting us with already. If you are able to hit the thumbs up button for us, please do, and help us get towards our 100 thumbs up number. We are very happy and delighted that you folks are able to help get us pretty darn close to 100 thumbs ups every week. It's fantastic. Just taking a look here at last week's show. Where were we here? 103 thumbs ups for last week. Thank you all very much. And those of you who send me, who send a message to me, letting me know what number you are, I do appreciate that. It reminds me that, oh yeah, the rerunners are out there. They're hitting those thumbs up button for me. And they'll say, I'm number 68, I'm number 74, I'm number 88, I'm number 92. That's absolutely fabulous. Thank you all for helping out, getting us to the 100 thumbs up level. On the cruise news front, today I noticed some news, and I wanted to mention this to you because I have been telling you now for a couple of weeks. I've been telling you for the last couple of weeks. Off and on, I've mentioned this thing. I'm kind of getting the vibe that something is up at Norwegian, and I'm just wondering what's going on over there. I'm beginning to get the impression now. This is a month ago. It started a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I just started to get this hunch that there are financial troubles in Norwegian land, and maybe not imminent issues, but down the road there are issues, and I think what it is the amount of money the company had to borrow to survive COVID, the obligations of the company to take delivery of new ships, and the fact that they were, starved of income like everybody else. They had to borrow money to survive, and they had to borrow at very high interest rates. And that I get the impression that they are right now in a pickle where they can't easily go out and raise another couple of $1 billion. I think they may have been tapped out. Can't prove it. I can't say, tell you right now, they're not going to be able to raise any money. They may be able to raise another $1 billion, but it might be at 14% interest. They're certainly not getting any interest for stock, and I don't think they want to issue stock as cheap as it is. It just dilutes the shareholders even further. And so I just have this vibe that something is up, and I see our buddy Don Terrace, he'll do a story on Norwegian, and he talks about a whole bunch of cruises that have been canceled going forward. And in some cases, the excuse for a canceled cruise is something like a cruise ship is going in for a refurbishment, or going into dry dock, or a cruise is canceled because the ship has been offered for the week on a charter. And apparently, it must be very lucrative for a cruise line to cancel a cruise and turn right around and offer that ship for a set week for a charter, because you got to think about how much money has Norwegian spent for a year and a half in time marketing a particular cruise for a particular week, for a particular ship to a particular set of destinations. How many travel agents have booked cruises on that ship? Uh, how many people have booked flights and hotels and planned vacations before the cruise, after the cruise? How many of these? How much inconvenience is being put on these people by the cruise line to take a quick charter deal? That I gotta think it's got to be triple the money. I mean, I can't imagine it's equal the money. There's no way. Why would you do a cruise that's equal the money? It makes no sense. It makes sense if you have 110% occupancy and you're getting triple the money. If you're getting triple the dough, you can pay off all the inconvenienced passengers, and the travel agents can be somehow compensated, I guess. Uh, I don't know. I really wonder about that. But there are other ships being canceled outright, where they're going to be reallocated. They're going to be moved to different regions of the world. Now, Norwegian is using lingo like due to overwhelming demand from our clientele for cruises in, say, the Caribbean, we've decided to shift some of our ships into these regions. I don't buy it. I don't buy this argument. I really have a tough time going with it. It could be, now, to be open-minded about this. Is it a reality that Norwegian is finding that when they do offer cruises that might not be to the U.S. audience, it might be to an international audience, like a European audience? It could be that you're trying to offer a Mediterranean-based cruise. Are they finding that they can't sell out those ships? They cannot compete with MSC that might be undercutting them price-wise, which makes it unprofitable for Norwegian to even bother to do these cruises. They have to price match or offer benefits to get people to sign up. By the time you do all the giveaways, you give away gratuities, and you give away, you discount drink packages, and you give away Wi-Fi. If you're giving away too many freebies, is there no money in it to bother? And you might as well just cancel the entire season of whatever, wherever that ship was going to be, in the Greek islands or the Eastern or Western Mediterranean. Bring the ship back to America and have it operate out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Port Canaveral, Tampa, and just have it do cruises to the Caribbean. And you've got great Stirrup Cay as your private island, and you run the ship between Miami and a sea day, Great Stirrup Cay, a sea day, Nassau, a sea day, Freeport, a sea day, and then back to Miami. And you haven't even sailed the ship 600 miles, 800 miles. You've burned up no fuel. Whatever fuel you have burned up, you've burned up American priced fuel, much cheaper than European priced fuel. You're buying all your supplies from your existing American suppliers, much cheaper than European probably. And you're getting paid American dollars. And maybe that's the game plan for this company. Reduce losses, increase income, reduce expenses dramatically, and go this direction. Now, having said all that, just giving you all that information today, there were 2 stories out today on Norwegian Cruise Lines. Two stories broke. The first one is the cruise line proud to proclaim they're going to take delivery of 8 new cruise ships for their 3 cruise lines. They're trying to put to bed any speculation that there's any kind of a issue out there by saying we're adding 8 more ships to our fleet. Norwegian Cruise Line, they are going to take possession of 4 more of these Prima ships that they've already contracted for. They still have those 4 coming. The 4 Primas will arrive between 2025 next year and 2028. Then they are talking about 4 additional ships that are about 200,000 tons each, gross tons, that can handle 5,000 passengers per ship. So we're talking about the Joy and ships of the Getaway, of that sort of breakaway side. They're talking about 4 ships that will start in 2030, 2032, 2020, 2034, and 2036. So every 2 years. That's for Norwegian Cruise Lines. Now, I'm going to ask this question. And before I ask it, I'm just double checking something here on the where I know I can find this information. Norwegian right now, here we go. They have ships that their newest ship is the Norwegian, I think it's the Aqua, built in 2025, or to be delivered 25. There's the Bliss, the Breakaway. They were 2013, 2018. The Encore is 2019. The Norwegian Escape is a 2015 ship. The Getaway is a 2014 ship. The Norwegian Joy, 2017. The Prima, 2022. Those are the newest ships. The oldest ships in the fleet for Norwegian would be the Pride of America, which is out of Hawaii, 2004, just refurbished. The Norwegian Sun and Star from 2001. The Norwegian Spirit from 1998 and 1999. The Pearl from 06. The Jewel from 05. The Jade from 06. I can't believe I'm saying the Jade is an older ship, but it is. And the Norwegian Dawn from 2002. This is just a sampling of some of their oldest ships. Look, if you're going to take delivery of 4 additional ships after the Prima class is delivered in 2028, between 2028 and 2036, these ships from 1998, 99, 2000 are going to be 35 years old, 36 years old. They got to be taken out. So really, for the cruise line to hold on to its existing size, they're going to discontinue ships to bring in ships. This is not an expansion. This is a maintain what you got. And I'm asking myself, have you guys got financing lined up for this? Have you guys got the financing you need to do this? Because these 5,000 passenger ships are going to be $1 billion each. We're talking $5 billion in cruise ships. That money has to be borrowed. By the way, Oceania, they're ordering 2 new ships, they say, 86,000 gross tons, which will handle 1,450 passengers per ship, one for 2027 and one for 2029 delivery. And then Regent 7 Seas, they're talking about 2 ships there, each one 70,000 gross tons, 850 passengers. That's the high-end 6-star line. 2026 and 2029. So starting in 2026, going until 2036, a 10-year window, they are talking about taking delivery of 8 total cruise ships for the line. I will maintain that all 8 are going to replace 8 ships that will be retired in that same time frame. This is not an expansion of the line. It is a rejuvenation. Fair enough. But remember, any ship built in 2010, by the time it's 2036, those will be 26 years old. Now we're into 5 years of life left for those. 30 years of life, 35 years of life for a cruise ship is kind of the norm now. This line has got to bring in 2 ships a year every year. Otherwise, they're losing. There are no financing plans in place for this. Nothing has been nailed down yet. Nothing's been announced. My hunch is because cruise ships are built at shipbuilding facilities mainly in Europe for these major cruise lines like Carnival and Royal Caribbean and Norwegian. We're dealing here with Western European countries that are eager to keep these shipbuilding yards going. Because, for example, the Papenburg shipbuilding yard in Germany, in Papenburg, Germany, with all of the spin-off businesses that build a cruise ship, you're talking 20, 30,000 employees, architects, engineers, the plumbing, the electrical, the airflow, the hull, the interiors, the electronics. It goes on and on and on. I mean, you're building a fully functional city at sea at these places from hundreds of suppliers. The country of Germany and Finland and Norway and the country of France, Italy are all eager to convince cruise lines to order ships from their highly employed shipyard manufacturers. Some of these are nationally owned. They've gone into receivership from time to time, and they've been taken over by state corporations, which then qualify for state financing to build these ships. So it's not uncommon for a cruise line to order $1.25 billion cruise ship where there's only $100 million put up front. There's very little money put down, if any, and the financing is done in stages. The lender, the bank for the country, will put up the first $200 million, and that will encourage the shipyard to put out orders for delivery on a scheduled arrival basis, starting in 2 years from now, 2.5 years from now, 3 years from now. Start delivering to us components of these ships. And in like between 2 and 2.5 years, or 2 to 3.5 years, in that 1.5 year window, everything to build that ship is coming into that shipbuilding yard, all financed in increments with the government banking agencies to build out and pay for that ship. So all workers are paid on time. All suppliers are paid on a contracted on-time basis, which means they can pay their employees on time. It all fits in. The ship gets built out, and once the ship is completed, it is rolled out into sea trials and then handed over to the cruise line. Only then does the cruise line begin to make payments on a delivered seaworthy ship. Now, if you're Norwegian, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, any of their subsidiary lines, what do? You know you're going to receive a cruise ship in 2.5 years. You're going to release soon computer imagery of the completed ship, inside, outside, and everything else. You're going to have very realistic looking images of the cabins, the restaurants, and all the features. And what are you going to do? You're going to offer inaugural cruises for 3 months, 6 months of inaugural cruises, naming ceremonies and celebrations of delivery. You're going to name someone to be the godmother or godfather of the ship, all the hype and pageantry and all that stuff, to sell tickets on that ship for its first 2 to 3 years. You want the ship to be fully sold out for its first 3 years of cruising. The cruise line has already got the dough for all the cruises that ship is going to take, which means the cruise line has the first 3 years of payments in the bank to make payments towards the country's banking system, the import-export bank, or whatever you want to call it, that finance the build-out of the ship. This way, everyone is happy. The cruise line is happy. They got a new ship. The country of Germany or France or Italy, they're delighted. They've employed a lot of people. They have another notch in their gun on their holster, another quality ship built. Employees of these the shipyards are fully employed for years and years and years, building out this one and getting ready for the next one. Everybody's happy. Passengers get to go on a new ship as long as it launches on time, cross our fingers, and hopefully it doesn't break down. When it works very well, but it's very complicated. And for Norwegian here, the problem they have is they have everything mortgaged that they own. They mortgaged everything they had to survive the pandemic. They mortgaged every ship, no matter how old it was. If anyone was lending the money, they took it during the pandemic. And so Norwegian is paying astronomical interest rates on this debt. And if they were to borrow more debt, they might be paying 14%. You cannot survive as a cruise line at 14% interest payments. Their margins are good, but they're not that good. And even if new ships are coming on, the problem now is whatever profit those new ships are making are sucked up by the bankers, and you still have nothing to show for your company. The other problem here, being a guy who likes to follow the public markets, the cruise lines aren't paying down the debt as they're paying the interest. They're just paying the interest on the debt. Now, the lenders who lent these guys money, typically what they'll do is lend them money for a 5-year bond, and at the end of 5 years, they'll lend them money for another 5 years, paying off the old bond, reissuing a new bond. They might add a couple $100 million to that new bond, and that money goes into commissions, fees, and some working capital. But essentially, the cruise line's just paying interest on this money. And the thinking had been over the years that by the time these bonds mature in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, some of them are as long as 10 years long. By the time 10 years rolls along, prices will have increased so much that inflated dollars tomorrow will pay off the debt of yesterday. This is how governments operate around the world. The Canadian government, the American government, the British government, the German government, every government in the world borrows money today to pay their deficits, and they pay these bonds off over, they pay interest for 15, 20, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and at the end of 10, 20, 30 years, they roll them over, and these bonds from 10 years ago were only $4 billion. Nowadays, the government's borrowing $8 billion every week. Easy to pay down 30-year-old debt. That was the thinking. The problem with these cruise lines is they've had to borrow so much money, so much more than ever before, to survive 2 years of a pandemic shutdown, that they're now carrying this massive albatross around their necks, and they can't get rid of it. You can't walk away from this debt. And so how do you replace your fleet? How do you keep your product fresh? You're up against Carnival's newest ships. You're up against Princess's newest ships. Royal Caribbean, Icon of the Seas, the newest ships they have. You can't have 35-year-old cruise ships and expect to survive. You're going to get crushed by the new ships out there. And so first thing you do is you bring your fleet back home and use it for shorter cruises and cut the costs of your cruises to the bone. You then keep the ships, traveling a couple thousand miles max per trip, if that, and you cut back staff, which means you don't have room cleaning service twice a day. You have it once a day. You can't even find your room steward anymore. Your poor room steward is overworked like you can't believe. You raise your gratuities to astronomical levels. You raise all your onboard prices. You find new ways to charge for things that you never charged for before to try to make it go. And that's exactly what Norwegian has done. There you have it. The other news from Norwegian, there's more. There's even more news. Norwegian today announced, it might have been today, it might have been yesterday, that they're going to spend $150 million at Great Stirrup Cay in the Bahamas. They're going to build a pier at the Great Stirrup Cay Island Resort. Rather than tender in passengers on their lifeboats, they're going to now build a pier. They can literally dock 2 ships at a time every day or whenever they wish, up to 2 ships at a time. Now, you can still do tendering on top of that if you're going to do that, but there were days over the last decade, I am sure there were many days where it was too windy to drop passengers onto tenders and have them tender into the beach. Too rough out there. and the people were probably sicker than dogs if they ever tried it. So by having the ships be able to come up to a pier, sheltered pier perhaps, you are going to have 99.9% effectiveness to drop your passengers off on the island, which is your property and your cash flow for all the onshore activities that they're going to sell. And 150 million is going to be spent by Norwegian to enhance this. This is exactly what the playbook is at Carnival and Royal Caribbean. MSC are spending a ton of money on their private island right now, and Disney with their new lighthouse private island. Get cruise ships to their private islands, barely 150 miles away from the United States, and have a sea day first, then an island day, then a sea day. Maybe go to Nassau. You've already got 4 days used up. Then have a sea day after that, 5 days used up, and you haven't traveled more than 250 miles between spots. You are saving fuel like you can't believe, wear and tear on the engines, and you're saving a lot of money, and you're still charging as much as you can to these passengers, including onshore activities, because cruising has changed from an exploratory kind of an adventure to we're going to a water park at a private island. The kids are going to have a good time in a water park on water slides, and they're going to rent toys in the water. Mom and dad are going to be in a cabana, or they're going to be on, under an umbrella somewhere. And this is a beach holiday with a cruise ship taking you to different beaches. It's no longer an exotic cruise to exotic locales. Those days were over in the 1980s, because today every Caribbean nation you go to is the same as the other. They all have cars, they all have internet, they all have a Hooters bar, they all have a Senior Frogs, they all have the international jewelry exchange locations. They're all the same, and they're run by the same corporations. What's the difference? That exoticness is over. That's the news out of Norwegian today. A lot of news there. Some very necessary. Ms. M is in the house. I wish I could meet at the steakhouse. I wish I could see you. We have a meet and greet coming up here on Saturday this week in Ontario, California. If you're down here, come and see us at the Outback Steakhouse. The only request that I make from any of you who are planning on coming to visit us is please send me an email telling me I'm coming down there. My wife and I are coming. My husband and I are coming. We look forward to seeing you at noon on Saturday, the 13th of April, this Saturday, at Ontario's Outback Steakhouse, right across the street from the Ontario Mills Mall. It's the big one. At the highway intersection of Highway 10 and Highway 15. You can't miss it in Ontario, California. Send me an email. Let me know you're coming, and we'll put you down because we have limited space. Love to have you come on and to see us, everybody. Thank you so much for those of you who have indicated you want to come by. Good evening, Uncle Bruce and all TWBers. A thumbs up number 3 from Robert. Thank you, Robert. I'll be back for the big show at 8. Stephen Butler, I thought I was number 3. Drove over to Deer, Arkansas today to be in the totality zone of the total eclipse. It was well worth the drive. Stunning sight at the totality. Sharon is in the house. I am number 5 tonight. Kevin and I will miss your show next. We'll miss you next Monday. We'll be at the Islanders Devils game. Nice going. That should be fun. Robert, too cloudy in Connecticut to see the eclipse today. Ken Karaka, good evening, Bruce and Jennifer from Saginaw, Michigan. The temperature is 65 degrees. We had perfect weather for the 98% eclipse. Gas is 352. Jen and Ken, we're number 6. Thank you so much. Michelle, Lucas, miss you. Brucey, Norway, Princess Cruise, 522, 7224. Right on. Bullcraft Max saying, hi, Bruce. It has been a bit of time. Hoping you've been well. You are the GOAT, greatest of all time. Thank you. Donnell, I again, Bruce, and all TWB buddies. I'm number 9 tonight. Keep getting better, Jen. Thank you, Donnell. Kirk Brunson's YouTube and Facebook channel. Hi, Bruce and TWB family. Kirk from New York City is here, and we're at work right now. Sharon, we got to see a partial eclipse this afternoon, which is very cool to witness. Marini Crosby, they do better. They better do something with the Epic because it's crowded, dated, and the staterooms suck. Who thought see-through doors in the bathroom was a good thing? I don't think so. JJ, my wife and I actually prefer Epic, says JJ. Kevin Chapman, beautiful day here in central New Jersey, Bruce. Mid 60s, but too many clouds for optimal eclipse viewing. Thumbs up number 30 today. Cheers to you. Thank you, my friend. JJ, sounds like NCL is playing Private Island catch-up with Royal Caribbean. Sharon, no cruises coming up, but next month we'll be spending our anniversary at the Tokyo Dome, a total bucket list item. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I found some cruises today that I thought I would show you today, and maybe these might interest you. I wanted to also tell you some other news. I found some other news today that one more thing to tell you about. Where is this photo? Yeah, it has to do with this thing right here. See that train right there? That's the Brightline train, the Brightline in Florida. This is connecting Miami. It will soon be coming right to the port of Miami. It is connecting Fort Lauderdale. It is connecting West Palm Beach, and it's also heading all the way up to, I believe, Orlando, and might even be coming into Port Canaveral. This train could become the number one way cruise ship passengers connect to their ships in Florida between Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Port Canaveral. Now, the news here is that Princess and Brightline have signed a deal to have Princess's logos and images on some of these rail cars. They are operating a rail and sail service. 16 daily trips between Miami and Fort Lauderdale apparently are now being offered. And they're talking about one of the services that they're talking about adding is something called an express baggage delivery service. And so you get off your plane and you get over towards the train here to get ready to take your train, and you drop your bags off with the Princess representatives. And the next time you will see your baggage is when when you're on your ship in your room, and you don't have to worry about your baggage anymore. So Sail Princess is what they have on there. You can see the different liveries on the side of the ship here. And this is going to spread to all the ports in Miami. So that's news that has come out. Apparently the baggage deal is $35 a bag. That's what they're talking about. So if you want to say goodbye to your baggage at the airport once you land in Orlando or probably Fort Lauderdale or Miami, say goodbye to your baggage. $35 later, it'll show up per bag in your room. For some people, it might be too much. For others, that might be a bargain. Now, let's talk about some cruises. I found a cruise on this ship right here, the Royal Princess. And I got to tell you, I didn't find a cruise on this ship. I found a back-to-back cruise on this ship. I was looking up on vacationstogo.com, and I found this highlight here. May 18th and May 25th, a back-to-back cruise, Vancouver to Anchorage and Anchorage to Vancouver on the Royal Princess. And I found a deal here. Let me show you the pricing on this. You can get an inside cabin from Vancouver to Anchorage for $359. You can get a balcony for $449, or you can get a suite for $899. And on top of that, they're giving out $60 onboard cabin credits. And of course, if you're a shareholder of Carnival, you're going to get a $100 credit for a 1-week cruise, if I'm not mistaken. On top of that, here's the itinerary. You're going from Vancouver all the way up here. You see Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, and then all the way to Whittier, which is Anchorage. And here's the official stops. Sea Day after you get going on the 18th of May. On the 19th is Sea Day. The 20th is Ketchikan. The 21st is Juneau. The 22nd is Skagway. Then it's a cruising day for the 23rd and 24th, Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve and the College Fjord, until you get to Anchorage on Saturday the 25th. And then you turn it around, and on the way home, it's $359 for an inside, $449 for a balcony, or $1124 for a suite, with again a $60 credit each cabin class, and probably a $100 cabin credit if you're a shareholder of Carnival. And coming back, you're going to do Hubbard Glacier for a cruise, then Glacier Bay National Park cruising. Then you have Icy Strait Point, Juneau, Ketchikan, a sea day, and back to Vancouver. And the ship itself is a 2013 built ship, refurbished in 2018. 142,000 gross tons, 1,083 feet long, 126 feet wide, 3,560 capacity for passengers, 1,346 crew members. You got 342 inside cabins, 1,438 outside with veranda cabins, 314 suites. Tipping is automatic, $18 a day per suite guest, $17 a day per mini suite and club class guest, and $16 a day for non-suite guest automatically to your account. An 18% tip is added to all bar charges and Lotus services. Here's some photos of this ship. It's very nice. Typical princess cruise. You've got an atrium design here, very nice. Here's a typical balcony kind of a cabin available here. Here is the princess shot of their pool deck and their big screen. Here's a shot of the back of the ship. Here you can see all the aft cabins available back there. Here's a shot of an adult-only retreat area. I think you pay extra for this. Here is a restaurant shot of some kind of nice. And here's just one more. They also have wine on board, as you probably noticed over there. So yeah, not a bad thing. This pricing though, you really can't beat this. I mean, going out for $449 on the balcony and coming back for $449 per week. I mean, come on. Forget the inside room, $450 a person balcony. Thank you very much. Plus credits up to $160 per cabin credit. That helps per leg. Not a bad deal. Okay, number two trip, I should say, is on this ship right here. This is the Princess, the Royal. Sorry, not the Royal Princess, the Island Princess. Okay, this is the Island Princess. And this is a trip that will run you for 11 nights now. 11 nights. $479 for an inside. Ocean view, $616. Balcony, $864. Not even $100 a night. And for a suite, $1519. Plus $60 credits all around. And being an 11-nighter, I think you get $200 as a cabin credit if you take this cruise. It might be $150, but it might be $200. Here's your itinerary. You're leaving Brooklyn, and you're heading to Newport, Rhode Island, then to Halifax, Nova Scotia, Boston. Then you're going down to Norfolk, Virginia, to Charleston, and then back to New York. This is a nice little cruise. Here's your actual itinerary. Brooklyn, New York on June 14th, just right around the longest day of the year. Newport, Rhode Island on the 15th, a sea day for the 16th, Halifax for the 17th, sea day on the 18th, Boston on the 19th, a sea day for the 20th of June, the longest day of the year, I think Friday the 21st, Norfolk, Virginia, a sea day on the 22nd, Charleston the 23rd, a sea day on the 24th, and New York, back on New York on the 25th. This ship was built in 2003, refurbished in 2017. 92,800 gross tons, 964 feet long, 106 feet wide, 2,200 capacity. For those of you who don't want to be in a 4,000 or 5,000 ship capacity ship, here you go, 2,200 with 900 crew. The tipping is the same as the other ship. Being its princess, it's $18, $17, or $16 a day. Here's some shots of the Island Princess cruise ship. Here you go. Not too bad up there. Interior pool as well, along with hot tubs. Kind of nice. Here's a shot of the area near Halifax, Nova Scotia. There will be some very popular day trips available here. And of course, you're leaving and coming back to Brooklyn, which means you're traveling by the Big Apple here. This is the kind of cruise that you make dang sure that you arrive in New York if you can several days before your cruise and enjoy New York, or you definitely stay a week afterwards. Enjoy the Big Apple. What a great sound. All right, here is your third cruise option here. This is the Rotterdam Holland America. And we're talking about a transatlantic cruise. We're talking about leaving Fort Lauderdale on the 13th of April, which is coming up in 5 days. So you better get with the program. If you're down in Florida, you can grab this one. Anyway, we have 6 sea days until Ponta Delgada on the 20th. 2 sea days, and you are in Brest, France, Portland, England, Le Havre, France, which is serving for Paris, Dover in England, and then Rotterdam in Holland. This cruise, last minute, look at the deal here. Inside room, $539. Brochure balcony, the balcony rate, $809 for 14-night cruise. $404.50 a week. Thank you very much. What a dealio. Here's the map here. Coming in from Fort Lauderdale, Ponta Delgada, Brest, Portland, Le Havre, Dover, and Rotterdam. Pretty nice. This ship, built in 2021, 99,500 tons, 984 feet long, 115 feet wide. Tipping, $17, typical, $19 for the suites, 18% tip charge. And of course, on the Holland America ship, here is the retracted roof that they're showing off. This roof can be closed or open depending on the weather. So there's never a day you're not going to enjoy the enjoyment of a pool or hot tub. Here's a wonderful balcony room. Here you have the spa area here. Look at that. Oh, that's got my name written all over it, man. Lovely dinner. Oh, yeah. You're talking 5.5-star cruise ship here. Pretty nice. I think that is the high-end restaurant that they offer as well. Not too shabby, I would say. 3 interesting cruises if you can squeeze one of them in. Way to go. There you have it. How about that? All right. Thank you all. Dawn is here. Dawn Godry. Hello, Bruce. Just a question for you and your fellow cruisers. Which cruise line is the best for Naples and Pompeii for shore excursions? Boy, I don't have the answer to that. I know that when I was in Naples with my daughter Jennifer Jr., we had a half-day excursion booked where we got on the bus right at the port, and they took us to Herculaneum, which I enjoyed very much because it was much calmer, much better preserved than Pompeii. We had a guide. We could hear him. We were alone with the guide, or maybe 10 of us with him. It was great. Really nice. So, again, I can't tell you. And Brent Rogers and number 29 and Brent number 20 from Ancaster, Ontario. The sky here cleared long enough to see totality, and that beautiful Corona. What a wonderful universe. Sharon, Dawn, we've only sailed Royal Caribbean to Naples, but they had several available tours. I'm sure every cruise line would. Ms. M, every time I was supposed to go to Great Stirrup Cay, it was canceled due to rough water and tendering. Pier is a long time in coming. There you go. I can imagine how many millions of dollars Norwegian loses because of the weather. They can't get the passengers onto the beach. Nikki, hi from Roger in Jacksonville. Yes, Nikki Singleton's channel. Roger, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for joining us as you have lately. It's great to have you. Number 35 on the thumbs up meter. Thanks, pal. I appreciate that. All the best to you from our family here at TWB. Beautiful stuff. Yes, if you're going to go to Naples on any cruise ship, I don't care the line here. It doesn't matter who it is. You're going to find a plethora of great tour opportunities for that region. No doubt about it. They know their stuff down there. They know a good thing when they have it. So there you go. Have you talked about last minute cabins at $49 a day? Well, we just did 3 cruises. We just did. You may want to risk a rerun here, but we just talked about 3 particular cruises back to back. Alaska, 14 days for $900 in a balcony. We talked about Alaska. We talked about for an 11-night Brooklyn, Halifax, East Coast cruise that came in pretty cheap, and now we just talked about a repositioning cruise from Fort Lauderdale to Rotterdam, 14 nights at a heck of a good price. Might be a great deal. Holland America will contact you 2 days before sailing. So there you have it. Sometimes you can get contacted by cruise lines with last minute deals, depending on where you live in a geography way. I was on a cruise out of Los Angeles on a Princess cruise with Jennifer down the Mexican Riviera. And I met a gentleman on the second or third day, got to talk to him. We were in the sauna, and I was just talking to him, and he lived in Los Angeles. And he told me that he gets emails all the time from Princess and other cruise lines offering him last minute, and I mean like 2, 3, 4, 5 days before a cruise ship is leaving for Mexico. He gets these super, super discount offers, $50 a night per person in a balcony from time to time. Not every week, but often during the year. He gets these specials thrown at him. And he joined the cruise that I was on for $45 a night, something like that. Jen and I were happy as could be. We were on that very same cruise for about $85 a night ourselves. So we were happy with what we paid, but he got an even better deal because he's right there. He can literally grab an Uber or have a buddy drop him off and pick him up. How about that? That's a pretty good deal. Anyway, Nikki will say they will let a solo cruiser take the cabin for $49 a night. Now that's a deal, Roger. That is a deal. If you can get a single for that kind of a deal, and you get a regular cabin for that, yeah, not bad, not bad at all. Again, if the cabin goes empty, what's the point? Why have an empty cabin when at least you can get someone in there for $50 a night, charge them, have them pay gratuities, and maybe they'll buy a drink package, and maybe they'll gamble. Who knows? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. For the traveler, it's a great deal. For the cruise line, it's a way to salvage an empty cabin. You want to definitely take advantage of that. For sure. Absolutely. Folks, thanks again for being here today. All of you who've come through here to say hi to me. The thumbs ups meter is at 37 right now. Thank you for that. If you're able to hit the thumbs up button, please help us out and get us a little more on the thumbs up side of the coin. Those of you watching on the rerun, thank you always for your thumbs ups. Many more people watch me on this channel on reruns than live, probably because of the time at night or what else is on TV. It's all good. I thank you all for supporting this channel. We will keep you posted on our travels coming up, Jennifer and I. We'll be back in Canada in the next month or so, 5, 6, 7 weeks, I guess. And then we're plotting our travels, and we'll keep you posted where we're headed, and perhaps we can get together with you. If any of you are in this region of America here in Southern California, and you can make it to Ontario this Saturday at noon, join Jennifer and I and some of the guests from this channel and my other channel for lunch at the Outback Steakhouse. We're buying. You just find the gas money. Come on down and see us. Let me know if you're coming down. Send me a private email and let me know you're on the way down. We'd love to see you, and we'll do some selfies and talk about cruise ships and the stock market, whatever else, and looking forward to having you come by. Thank you again for joining me from wherever you are in this world. I appreciate it. All the best to all of you. Have a great time out there, Sharon. Have a great time Saturday. Please give Jen our love. You got it. We'll keep you posted. We'll see you here next Monday with another update on what's going on out there. In the meantime, make sure whoever you hug them a little longer, because you never know how long, if there ever will be another one. So thank you all so much for your participation tonight and the thumbs ups. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye from Palm Desert, California.